But SCN bouncing back there with a really solid performance. Klein really popped off there. His tracking was phenomenal. His decision making was super on point. But man, TSM is playing out of their minds in terms of aggression. I love to see it. One thing that really confused me is how Snipe Down went down. I think that was pretty unlucky. I think it was the scout shots over towards the side. Let's take a look at the Mobile One high performance moment from the last game and see if we can find anything that we missed.
Yeah, and so this is TSM making that last ditch call here during the rotate. They knew they were going to get gate kept now, and so they just opt for the full send. As you can see, there's going to be a team to their north and the team coming in from their south. Their angles are just covered, and here's the call coming out from Hal. Gravity lift going down, and he throws in that black hole. If they had the Nox gas grenade, this might have been the full wipe, but still decent damage. They get two before going down. Unfortunate for them, they get wiped up in fourth place position. This could have been a lot of additional points here as Season were able to steal some of those away.
Yeah, Season again, it was really up to Klein and the way that he was able to maneuver throughout a lot of these times that was really, really impressive overall. And they had so much loot. Again, they wiped out a lot of teams over towards the side right here. But again, that's what you want to see is 7 kills for only 745 damage. That means that you're playing this right. And it doesn't mean that you're, you know, not doing a ton of damage, but you're doing a ton of damage at the right time. Obviously, the team support's going to be there. No one's really interested in that gold Spitfire. It looks like we're going to get right into game number 5, though. No delay as SCN closed out that final moment right there. It was a little late of an EMP coming in from Navi, but here's a 50-50 with Razer and third impact
Oh
down towards the
no.
bottom of Epicenter.
Jazz and Zicky already able to get the kill and thirst on to Muffin, so it's now down to a 2v3 for Team Razer. Zero Tricky only has about 60 HP, and it looks like the call is made, and we're just going to back up off of this one. He doesn't have a secondary gun himself, and he's only got the Volt, but he's not even playing at optimal range here, as he's trying to create some distance between himself and third impact. Remember, Razer had about 30 points going into this one. TSM versus Cooler still going off, as they do trade 1-for-1 right now. Reps with that 30-30 repeater is able to trade at least back for Nasky, and so that's another 50-50 we'd love to see. Reps will get the thirst with that thermite as well, and he gets another knock, taking out Dell. So it's going to be a 2v1 for TSM, as the other 50-50 over at Geyser is taking place. Popped Hearts versus 303. And speaking of another 50-50, this is going to be Cheez It versus Intel right now for the fight for Lava City.
That fight for Lava City is never ending, and I think it's going to last all of Series E on our Pro Day and on our Open Day, because these two teams will face it off. But it looks like Cooler was able to win against TSM. Not quite sure how that was transpiring, but 303 is still going at it with the Geyser squad. So if we could switch on over there to find out who won that fight, that would be awesome. Looks like they are going to get the res. It's going to be a 2-on-1 scenario. Nice spray there from ASCII, excuse me, using a little bit of that armor shield. You can see all the players just crawling on the ground right there, and those are all the members of Team Pop-Tarts. Bambino needed to heal. He left that one up to ASCII, and ASCII delivered.
Yeah, that was beautiful. As you saw him holding the angle just above the knockdown shield, a vulnerable spot, really. So great cursor placement there for him for now in 303, getting the better of this 50-50 once again. Now, the implications of that Cooler versus TSM fight is massively important. Remember, TSM, we're sitting in second place now, going down with 1 point, I believe, total. They got the thirst onto one member, I believe, of Cooler. And so going into game number 5, the last 2 games of the evening, only getting 1 point in that game is massive. Rakanishu is in, and he's gotten the knock onto Panders, as it looks like third impact are chasing down the rest of Razer, and they are out here. Team Cheez It, they're able to get a second knock onto Metro, and now Prodigy Aces will give his life for that effort. Rakanishu coming in and finishing off that. So the 50-50 going the way of Team Cheez It once again.
Not surprising that Rakanushi is the one that picked those kills up, too. It's all about the Bloodhound in those type of instances, hitting the scans, finding the weaknesses in the team when they're split up, coming through with the support plays. Joey Blackout had the barrels if they wanted to fight over towards that office area. And it's pretty common for the Wraith to be the player that go down when they're trying to push up and you don't get that Q down as fast as possible. But now we're going to have to find out where this zone is, find out how aggressive Team Cheez It wants to play for the rest of this one, see if they're going to continue to try to steamroll this one. No mag on the R301 is a little weak. And it looks like based on shooting this thing and going for it, that they're just going to take their sweet time. No rush to go and rotate, especially after fighting that 50-50.
Yeah, maybe they get a gold mag off of that. Speaking of gold, Team Rockstar are able to get 2 gold armors along with the purple for Matt Pickett. Incredibly strong start here as they're now making their way through Harvester down to the south side. And so this might possibly be maybe a tree ending, maybe goes over to launch. We haven't taken a look at the map quite yet. We will find out shortly here as they spotted it out that these bins have already been looted. And for the time being, they might just hold this position over here. There we go. Getting the EVA 8. This is what's happening. Is MPL are playing over by the high ground on that connector area. NPL with the Beast of the Hunt. Bambino gets some good damage off. And now he throws in that Arc Star. Will that be the fatal one? Looks like no connect for him there. He will have another scan to work off of for now, but he's getting tagged from a different angle. That's the third party as he's trying to back away. The movement speed of the Beast of Hunt allows him to get back, and take a look at how far back the rest of NPL were playing. That could have been very dangerous, but he got one final scan off, and they will be able to hold back, and it looks like it will be pulling over here towards the back end of tree.
Looks like Nestle Pure Life wanted to add aggression, but that's why the E-Boy Rat Boy Ronnie cam is so popular, because they end up splitting up big time. And it looks like Team Rockstar is split up. There goes the res. Not a gold bag, though. Portal is going to be placed, but the shots from Gentrifying are just too much. Looks like they are going to be watching that portal. Grenades are going to connect. Huge Arc Star there from Tech is going to drop design. Full bubble is going to be there as well. Looks like he's going to get to Q for this one. He's going to try to use the knockdown shield. Interesting.
Oh boy, they're getting tagged from a different angle though. There's a team on tree as NPL are coming in for the third party now on top of Solifide. Solifide have already lost out on 2. NPL are picking up the remnants here. Ronnie does go down to the defensive bombardment of Ronnie. What? Wait, never mind. Sorry, excuse me. Here we go. They got the res from Dracos though. They still have, I believe, Rockstar down there. They have study throughout all of this, and wow, they're just pushing through these ports, trying to punish as Matt Pickett goes down now again. And Bambino holding the high ground angle. Ronnie's going to slow heal off of this one. It looks like only has syringes at the very least. Bubble has been used as Dracos is holding it. Hits for that gold at the very least as Cooler are getting into a fight up against 303. Liquid, Rice Krispie Treats are in here for the third party, and they have found one at the very least, a kill right now, as it looks like Cooler were able to finish their fight up against 303. NPL fully healed now have taken position inside of this card, but you might want to just back away off of this one and gain their position once again, the backside of tree. CLG find themselves in a fight over here at Sorting Factory, though, as Pringles have lost out on 1. They might be coming in for the third party here. You can see a lot of the caustic gas going down as well. But Phony, with the scans, it's not going to impair his vision here. They still need to get Fury back into this one as the full heal comes out from Phony at this point. Cross angle has been set up, and now they're going to try and full commit onto the lone player who's trying to push the stairs, but he backs off into a position where he does have the cover fire of his squad backing away through all of that. Fury does get thirsted despite that, and it looks like Team Rice Krispies find themselves in another fight as well. They recover the beacon of Fury, but they're still stuck in a very tight spot here, Tom.
This office spot is only good when you have a Watson, and if you have a Caustic, that's even better, but it looks like Team Pringles is stuck in a very tough spot right now. 3 players you can see on the player outlines, plus another team over towards their right-hand side. And this is not a good situation to be in. Basically, you're trying to have presence, but you don't want to show that you're only a 2-man squad, and guess what? That'll show you're a 2-man squad of Bloodhound scan over towards the side. So difficult situation again to be in, and it looks like Beast of the Hunt could be popped, and they could try to do some crazy maneuvering here, but without a portal play, without a Wraith even on their team, it's going to be very, very tough. That team did start to rotate out over towards the buildings. That is their only opportunity to go and make a play, but they don't realize that that team's gone.
Yeah, luckily for them, the looming threat of the third party was what stopped the squads from pushing in on each other. And so we're seeing some passive play throughout our games tonight as Team Cheez-It have found themselves a position inside Sorting Factory right now as they are starting to make their way on into the main building. They might have their go at trying to push Team Pringles now as they have reached the banana building. It's Joey Blackout leading the charge for his squad so far as they make their way into the bend. There are some caustic traps there, though, unfortunately. Does he have a sliver to work with to try and pop this? Doesn't look like it. And so he's just going to go ahead and take out that door.
Yeah, Team Cheez-It is posturing like all these other teams at Sorting Factory, getting ready for this one. I'm not sure exactly what sorting ending this could potentially be, but it looks like most likely going to be in between sorting and tree. Could be over towards those buildings, but Caustic is just so dang strong in these scenarios. I'm not surprised to see Cheesy get aggressive over here, especially if Joey Blackout can make some plays. I don't think that's their thermite, so he can't go and run through that one, but trying to connect through some scout shots and does connect for about 70 on that one player with the purple armor over towards the backhand side. That's enough for Prodigy Aces to go and send this one. Beast of the Hunt being popped by Rakanishu. They're starting to push in, but they realize multiple teams in the vicinity, so that's going to be a big scan. They're watching all the different angles. That player didn't realize they were already pre-watching that. Nice job by Rakanishu. But they're realizing they've been off a little bit more than they can shoot here. There are a lot of players around.
Oh boy, you got taken down to about 40 HP there. He will ultimately fall. Madness with the R301 picks that one up. They try to cover the entrance there on the right-hand side, but he's able to sneak on in, and the port comes out to try and recover Rakanishu. As the scan does come out, and so CLG understand they can get aggressive off this, especially with this bubble now sliding in. Prodigy Aces missed the first shot, missed the second shot, but he's got the 2-for-1 peek going on in. Is able to get Lou, but he gives it over for his life as Vaxlon is able to take him out with that EVA 8. It's all up to Joey Blackout trying his best to play around the barrels. The res is actually stuck, and that's going to allow him to get the double knock, but Madness does recover. Survives for now. He's got the gold bag res as well, surprisingly enough.
I wonder if Lou has a gold bag too, because you would think he'd be the one that has that throughout all there. But what a job by Madness finishing that out. Very impressive caustic play from Joey Blackout. It looks like they don't have 2 gold bags. There's that one right there. Going to go on over to the Gibby. Lou may play a little bit more passive throughout all that, knowing that he is the person that will be getting the reses throughout all of this. But impressive plays from CLG. Taking down Rakanishu was the big opening there, and Team Cheez-It has been dooming the last 2 days, so CLG is starting to heat up just a little bit, and they're going to need a W here because we saw that leaderboard. Right now, it's all TSM Liquid in season.
Yeah, but these points, these early game kills, mid-game kills, are massively important. Here's Team Rice Krispie Treats, though, holding this position over at Tree. Ring does pull away from them as Casper gets tagged big, but with the help of Bird, they take out Nesh, and so they'll have the mad advantage up against Na'Vi. Stunny taking a zip line to get across, create another angle for his squad. They try to find the rest of Na'Vi. Here comes the bubble res, though. The res might have actually already gone down as Stunny wants to push this bubble, but he needs the rest of his team here, and they are starting to form up around him right now. A lot of utility being used. The defensive bombardment goes down. Doesn't look like it hits anything, though, and they have given up on this fight as another team might have been getting involved as well. Never mind, no, they're still continuing to charge forward here as they do have these rocks to work with on their next ring here. CLG finding themselves another fight. That office building is becoming a graveyard now as Madness holding the window. He's got full 3-man squad. Someone is peeking out from the left, and someone needs to be watching that for now. Vaxlon has to be careful with how he holds this angle. Lou catches them peeking out from the stairs. He does go down. They haven't traded back quite yet. That's season to fall to Vax. It's going to be a 2v2 now as Vax and Madness get another one. 2v1, pushing forward with that EVA 8, and it's blindingly fast when you've got that purple bolt on it. And Madness wishing he had that gold back. He actually does, and gets Lou back up, and so they'll be able to recover off of this one. 9 squads remaining with 19 players left.
What a team fight there from CLG. You thought that once you see Lou go down, that season had a huge advantage, but it just didn't pay off for the one player that stayed back inside of the building as the office got charged over towards the side. So back-to-back really solid team fights, taking down 2 of our top teams over the last 2 days by CLG, and that's what you kind of expect from them. And now I believe they have double gold bags, which is a little bit scary, directly in the center of the zone. Wish we could get a scan on zone number 4, find out which one this is actually going to be, because there's so many different endings over towards Sorting Factory. I'm not even sure if these players know.
Yeah, they're pulling out the armors for themselves as well. They are directly center zone, and it is going to be Tech who has swapped on over. It's the Tomcat Rat Cam. And unfortunately for him, you know, that crypto was paying off dividends for Team Rockstar. He was able to get them back into 2 games with that drone. This time around, though, he's on that Wraith, and so they are down, as it looks like CLG have to hold it down once again. Another team intruding upon their area here. He does get through that arm shield and hits, but he backs off and does heal up. And they should have a lot of utility here, and a lot of heals as well, with all the bodies that have gone down. Scan out, showing that the entire team is postured over by Banana for the time being, as Lou wants to try and push up. And his aim, of course, has been on point. Gets hit for 50 there. Madness goes for the peak himself. Gets hit for about 60 or 70. And here comes the repeat now. They've got the heals up. They'll try and challenge once again. Who's on the other side of this fight? It's going to be Cooler pushing up. It's almost the same position. You got 2 purple armors and 1 red Evo shield. Nasky is the one that's holding onto the Evo for Cooler. It's going to be a disengage from either side. Cooler watching their back, and now we have a better idea where the ring's going to go. It's going to pull down, and so that office building was the call. It's still in for the time being. So CLG and Cooler might fight over this.
Looks like someone wants the Prowler. That's going to be Lou grabbing that one, and looks like Madness is going to switch on over to the Volt with the gold mag as well. Going to need a little bit of ammo for that one. That's why he's going and checking all these boxes throughout all of that, making sure that he's not leaving any. And there it is. Gets a little 50 stack right there and make sure that he's good to go for the rest of this game. We saw how fast you can run out of ammo with that R9. We brought it up when he had around 250 shots. Next thing you know, you're running down to just 24 overall. So the value in these very aggressive games of ammo ends up becoming extremely huge. We already know how big your utility is, including that would be your grenades over towards the tail end of the game. So now we get that zone pull, and it looks like it's going to continue to kind of go in between these 2 areas, which means once teams have to rotate out of the building, Gibraltar value skyrockets.
Yeah, and the value of Lou also having that Prowler with the gold bag means that he's going to have a lot of inventory space. And so he could be the loot mule, basically, for CLG. Here we are on board with Applejacks, who are playing a position right across from Banana right now, and it's just going to be a standstill. 7 squads remaining, 16 players left. We know that Tech is riding this one out. There may be another rat in the wings, as we do have 5 players currently missing. Applejacks making their move now to control the rooftop of the office building here, as their current position was out. Ooh, he spawned one out, hitting for flesh already, as he hits for another 15. That is the Volt, though, basically. Makes it a little bit difficult to secure a kill from that range, even with a 2x on that. Ring closing in, as Dupe is doing a great job of checking their back. Aves took a lot of damage there, but at least forced that player back.
I like this rotation from Applejacks. I think that playing the roof is something we see Sentinels do fairly often. CLG feels a little bit more comfortable in here because of the amount of loot and just resources that they have inside here, and also obviously can make the rotation through the snake if they wanted to, but they're gonna have to deal with that team, and rightfully so. I mean, they've already dealt with a handful of teams in here, some very solid teams, as all the teams in here are very, very solid. So we'll see what happens. They're more concerned about an actual third party than anything, and now we see the split of the zone as predicted, kind of moving in that open area, and now we have to see what Lou's going to be able to do. Going to have plenty of healing. Will they take this fight, or will they make a rotation with Madness in a portal?
Yeah, unfortunately, Tech does go down as he was trying to rat this one out. The other rat was, I believe, Study for Team Rice Krispie Treats. And so now we have 1 squad down to a duo. CLG have about 55 seconds left to go, try and work off all of this. We have to remember that Cooler on the other side. We had Applejacks above them just a second before. Don't know if they are still there. It looks like Applejacks are making their move with the port into this. So 2 separate fights taking place right now, with the 5th squad just watching on. It's going to be Dell to get the first knock on to Lou. Vax has gone down, but Yuki, along with the rest of the squad, will be able to clean up CLG. We're now down to the top 4 squads, as Na'Vi versus Team Applejacks right now, as Team Applejacks are trying to third party this. But Dupe has gone down. Their focus has to be on recovery, and luckily for him, he's in the small ditch, and they'll be able to safely res this. But that means they're not able to take advantage of that third party onto Cooler.
Get back in the game, Dupe. We got a game to win out here. Applejacks gets back over towards the roof. Bubble is going to be popped. Medkit is going to be hit as well. The third party ends up getting faltered, but it looks like we have our two EU teams, our EMEA region teams, looking really strong towards the tail end of this game. They're going to send it over towards the roof. They realize Aves is a little bit split. Is anyone inside that building, though? They're continuing to send it, but it's a bait. It looks like Aves turns back around. They're walking in with the zone, though. Aves is going to have to queue out of this. If he's able to get that movement speed, that's going to be huge. Looks like he's eating tons of ring damage here. And will he be able to make it? Just barely.
Oh, he does go down, though. It's Team Liquid coming in for the cleanup. And so now Team Liquid versus, I believe, Na'Vi on the other side of this one. Nocturnal's arm shield does get cracked for the time being, and the defensive bombardment is gone for them. There's a minute and 12 seconds before the slow ring starts closing in. He's not going to have another defensive bombardment for this one unless they have some ultimate excels. Here comes some nades out from the other side, though. They are stuck behind this car flanker. Climb up, but I don't know if he can really get up through this one, as the high ground position is going to be difficult to retake. But hey, luckily for them, they've got the obscurement from that smoke. Nocturnal here's one above him, tries to creep up. Here's the shots ringing out. This is his chance to go in as the Pathfinder tries to back up. He almost cracks that red armor, but he gets cracked himself. Pops that bat as he backs away, and now things are getting tense in this last 3v2, excuse me. Na'Vi, though, with the triple take. Kuya is trying his best to play off of this, but it's going to be a full 3v1 push onto Gibraltar. Nax Strafe taking a lot of damage, and he will fall. It's going to be Team Liquid to take game number 5.
What a job. Team Liquid continuing to add pressure into this lobby.